Okay, so on our previous chats, we have discussed about simple interest, compound interest, interest rate, and time value of money. So now, what further we need to know about investments?
Harsh, I'm really glad that you are showing interest in knowing about investment and investment planning. It is indeed a good first steps towards being financially independent in your life. So keep it up with that. Now, what we need to know next is about the concepts of returns and risk in investment planning. See, it's a very wide and deep topic, so everything cannot be explained in a chat session like this. But what I can do is introduce you to the concept. So when you actually start your investment planning, you may have some idea that what are returns and what are different risks. So let's start with returns. So what are returns? Returns are the reward which you achieve or expect to achieve on investments. They can be either negative or positive depending on whether you are losing or gaining the money on investments. Again, in context with different financial assets, returns are named differently. For an example, yield, total returns, interest rate, etc. so on. So now to understand returns in a better way, let's take an example. Say that you have a financial goal that after 5 years you want to buy a car which is worth 10 lakh rupees. You have savings of 2 lakhs of rupees today and you can save 1 lakh each year. So at the end of 5 years, how much will you have? You will have 2 lakhs plus 5 lakhs, that is 1 lakh each year which you have saved. So that totals to 7 lakh. But you want to buy a car of 10 lakhs. So you will face a shortfall of 3 lakhs. So for that matter, you need to figure out how can you invest the savings in a such a way that it grows to 10 lakhs after 5 and you can achieve your goal of buying a car. So for that purpose, you need to calculate the required rate of return. So in Excel there is a rate function which calculates this for you, and for our example it gives an answer of 10% per annum. Now what does this mean? This means that you need to invest your savings so that it generates the return of 10% every year, and at the end of 5 years you will have 10 lakhs from which you can achieve your goal of buying a car. Okay. Now, what does this further mean? This means that you need to even select those financial assets which can generate 10% rate of return every year to achieve your goal.
Okay, so what financial assets I need to choose in order to get that much of return?
Yeah, so as such there are a number of assets, but you can choose stocks, bonds, bank or corporate deposits, even mutual fund, which is a combination of stocks and bonds.
So if I select any of these assets, will they give me a required rate of return?
No, they may give you or they may not even give you, because the returns generated from this asset class depends upon a number of factors. It depends upon the stock market conditions. Okay, so what you expect is the calculation, while what you get is based on the performance of the assets which you have chosen to invest in. So this is where you need to understand the concept of actual rate of return. So say for example, you bought stocks of some reputed companies. Okay, now the returns of these stocks will depend upon the stock market condition. They may average out to 10% per year, they may even go higher, or they may even go much lesser. Okay, so the variability of this asset class is in generating returns is very high, and it is irrespective of time. So now suppose that you invest in bank fixed deposit. Now the flip side, is that the bank may not be able to give you rate of return of 10% per year, and on that you may even have to pay the taxes. So your returns would even reduce further. But the positive side is that whatever returns bank will give you will not have much of variation. Now say that you buy bonds which gives you 10% rate of return every year. But it may happen that when you want to sell those bonds, you may not be able to sell it because of less number of buyers, and due to that you may not get your money back. In short, bonds may face lesser demand in the bond market. Okay, so see, the crux of this discussion is that your actual rate of return will vary from the expected rate of return.
Oh, I need to be careful on choosing the financial assets very carefully. Otherwise, I won't have the required amount of money to fulfill my goal.
Yes,
Is that right?
yes, you are absolutely right. So, since you have understood the whole discussion so far on returns, now at this point in time, I will introduce you to the concept of risk. So, what is risk? Risk is the uncertainties around investment. As such, there are many different types of risk, but in context to our discussion so far, we will take few of them. So you might have heard during the advertisement on mutual fund that mutual funds are subjected to market risk. Now what is this market risk? The changes in the overall financial markets or the economic conditions will lead to the variation in the prices of stocks or mutual funds in which you have invested. So that is market risk. Next is interest rate risk. So interest rate risk happens due to the fluctuation in interest rate. Now why do interest rate changes? It may change due to the economic condition of the world or the country, the fiscal or the monetary actions taken. So they may go higher from what they are right now, or they may even fall from what they are right now. So due to that, you may not get the desired interest rate on your bank deposits. Now suppose you have bought the bonds which is giving you 10% rate of return every year. Now due to deteriorating economy or the business cycle, the company faces losses and is not able to make the payments. Then that is credit risk. Now at this time, when you go and try to sell those bonds, you may not find any buyers in the bond market because people might have come to know that this company is facing losses, and hence they would not go for buying these bonds. So you will not be able to liquidate and get your money back. So that is liquidity risk. So now besides all this risk, there's one very important risk which you need to understand, and that is inflation risk. In our example, you have a goal that after 5 years, you want to buy a car which is worth rupees 10 lakhs today. But what if the price increases to 12 or 15 lakhs after 5 years while you have planned only for 10 lakhs? Your entire planning goes for a toss, isn't it? So this happens due to general price increase of various goods, and that is called as inflation. And the risk due to that in investment planning is the inflation risk. So while planning for the investments, that is during your investment planning, one has to consider all this risk and then accordingly choose the asset class and make the planning.
Okay, so are there any other risks that I need to be aware of?
Yes. So this all risks which we discussed are associated either to economy or asset or the markets. Now there are two risks which are associated to the individuals, and those are mortality risk and the longevity risk. So what is mortality risk? An individual may face an untimely death, that is, may die at a very young age while one is still working. Now, by that event, the entire family and its future is affected. So, while investment planning, one has to factor in this mortality risk. Second is longevity risk. That is opposite to what is mortality risk. An individual may outlive the average life expectancy. Today, the life expectancy in India is around 67 years. What if an individual lives up to 99 years of age and has not planned has not made that provision in their financial planning? Then one may face the shortage of fund in the later stage of life, right? So one cannot rule out this possibility as well when they plan their finances and do the investment planning. So this discussion so far was related to the concepts of risk and returns. One gets to know its tricks and trades when they start practicing the investment planning in real life. But one very important thing to understand is that risk and returns goes hand in hand in investment planning. And generally, most of the people are focused on getting higher returns from their investment. But important is to focus on the risk and then on the returns. So the focus should be on the risk adjusted returns and not just the returns.
Thank you. I hope this video has helped you a lot.